Oh my God. This is our last episode
Yes.
in the first season. I'm
Yes.
sad, excited. We talked about transition last time. I'm feeling some type of way. I don't know about y'all.
Oh my God, yes, that's a transition.
It is a transition. My name is Jim. I'm feeling.
And Benji.
Yeah, this is. I just realized I'm getting emotional.
Oh,
Yeah, because so many people have reached out, and when we've been on a break, and we explained that for those of you who have not, seen the show, go back and check what we're talking about. And so they reach out, and I was kind of like surprised and shocked for certain people when they reach out. I was like, "Oh, you watch the show? I didn't know." So, and then to realize right now, as we're recording this, wait a minute, this is a transition.
mm-hmm.
We're gonna transition because this is the last episode for this season. So we're gonna take. Also excited because today we're bringing you what we had promised you from the first day,
Yes.
which is what.
The shout out.
Shout out, and we're gonna go over
The
people
questions.
looking at the questions and people who had sent us their shout out until you there moment. So shout out until you there. Please watch the first episode. You will see what it is about, why the show came about, and eventually will be an organization. And so we open it up for people to share with us and email us, call us, text us to share their shut up until the moment. And a few have. Shut up until the moment.
The moment it's when I used to watch YouTube and I would be like, why is this person so stiff? You know, what is going on with that person next? Oh, why is that person talking so much and not, until I got
Yeah.
the scene.
The time when you did it with me?
I know I am not a public speaker. I don't like that. I have my anxiety. I have my overwhelmed moments. You know what I'm saying? I feel all these sensations like I don't want to be there. But being able to sit on that chair and say, shoot, I am there. Let me just shut up and let me speak. You know what I'm saying? So that's my shut up until you're there moment.
We do have some shout out until the moment that people had, texted us, shared with us, and some of them they have realized, which I actually like. And I know one person had contacted Benji. It's like, oh, I didn't realize that until I watched your guys' show.
Mhm.
Like, oh, that's my shout out until the moment.
Yeah. So it was a close family friend who reached out and was like, yeah, my daughter is going through something similar and I don't know how to help her. By watching your show, it educated me, let me know what's going on. And now I can just continue to watch your show and figure out like how to help her with this.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what I told her. Of course, I said thank you for the feedback and and the kind words. And yes, if you continue to watch our shows, you will learn ways to even help yourself too,
Mhm.
not just your daughter or your family, other family member who's going through this. So that was really nice to hear. And not to mention, every week I'm getting messages from other people.
Outside of the country too.
Yeah, what's
I have people and
happening?
friends is
Where's
like,
your
okay,
show?
yeah. It's like,
Your mom specifically, are you guys not doing it anymore? So, like,
which I have to say, I like that part because of situation when your mom and oh, by the way, so I would say that I put it out to Benji. It was like, your mom missed the show.
yes.
I went to her house and I'm like, and your mom was asking for the show. I'm like, she misses the show. She's part of you. She can't wait. So
Yeah.
that was very nice.
She's always asking for it. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out to me with the kind words. I read it. I may not always respond just because apparently that's what I do. I don't respond to a text message and shout outs. That's just my problem, okay? It has nothing to do with you guys.
I was gonna say.
It's a Benji's problem. But I
I
just
was
want to
gonna
say
say.
thank you. I read all of them. I may not necessarily reply, but I do read all of them. And of course, next time when we do more shout outs, we'll have them printed on a paper and we can read them one by one
Mhm.
so that you guys can see that like we are not making this stuff up. I mean, some of them we won't be able to read because they're voice messages,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but maybe down the line we could probably even play one or two of those voice messages when the technology would Progressive.
Technology. Yeah. So we're testing. So let me go through. Well, I think I'll just use initials,
Mhm.
right? So someone contacted me and they shut up until you their moment, and they were telling me it's when they were younger, which remind me of me when they were younger and they were growing up, and they had this idea of what a relationship
Mhm.
should be, will be when they're getting into their relationship. This is how their partner is gonna be, and this is, and then got into a relationship that is completely different
Different.
than what they ever thought about, what they
Mhm.
ever seen.
Mhm.
So, and okay, mind you, this is also a client, and the client was saying to me, "Oh, now I am in this relationship that I hate the relationship, but I love the person." So they fell in love with someone completely the opposite, but only to also find out, therapeutically speaking, it's because of the environment that they were in, and they had this fantasy
Mhm.
Mhm.
of what, like more of an escape,
Mhm.
right? This relationship, I don't want. What I see between mom and dad, I don't want. You know, the relationship I see around me. So they created a
Their
whole
own.
different
Yeah.
relationship in their,
World.
you know,
Mhm.
world in their mind.
Mhm.
And so for life, they're going up. This is, you know, the fantasy that, and then boom, the reality wake them up.
Mhm.
And they're in a relationship where the same relationship they used to judge people for,
Mhm.
now they're in that relationship.
Mhm.
And so when they listen to Shut Up Until You're There, and then they understand it, and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
Jama, I need to share this with you. So that person was okay with me sharing that. I'm not giving names, and I'm going to because that's how they felt comfortable. So that's the way one of the Shut Up Until You're There moment that person felt. So I,
What you're saying connects because I've worked with a lot of other people and even family member who expect to have this magical relationship. We're supposed to be easy. It's supposed to just like,
sorry.
like it's supposed to be like the Cinderella or one of those like fairy tale type of relationship. I'm like, those are not real. They're fairy tales,
Mhm.
right? And a relationship is what you and your partner makes out of it. So when you say that, like light bulbs went on for me because I'm like, I work with a lot of individual that thinks the relationship should be as easy as they show on movies and TVs. It would be lovely.
We never thought about issues
Yeah.
when we are getting in a relationship.
You know what? That's gonna be for the next season. That's gonna be one of the topics: red flags or deal breakers.
Yeah.
Because exactly what you're saying, we don't say this is it before you get into the relationship. These are my deal breakers.
Yes.
We always think we're gonna change the person. But anyway, let's come back. I know you have another shout out. Shout out until you there moment. The person who actually contacted you about growing up in Haiti and they used to get whooped.
Oh yes, yeah. Someone else. I'm just gonna keep their names out of it because I forgot to check in with them before I share it. Yeah. So basically, what they had shared to me, I'm using they pronouns so that they're not identified easily. But what they have shared with me was that growing up in Haiti, like I think it was the gentle parenting episode that we did, and that's when I got that. I was like, all they are used to is corporal punishment
Mhm.
when they get a beating for doing and other
As
times
simple as-
they
as
wouldn't even
simple as being
know that they
happy.
was wrong. Yeah, they
I
wouldn't
think
even
when you're
know.
happy, you get whooped.
Mhm.
They didn't even know that they did something wrong and they're getting a beating for it and they get accustomed to it and they're like listening to the channel. They're like, I learned so much because I did not know that there was another way to be able to do this. Them as a parent themselves
Mhm.
were like listening to you guys speaking was like, what is this? Like, what are you guys talking about?
Mhm.
So they really enjoyed that episode and they were like, Yeah, no, that wasn't my experience growing up, and they definitely connected with what we had to say, and they had a lot of positive feedback to say about it. And now it get them to think about how can I don't repeat the same thing that was done to me. By listening to what we're saying, that was their response.
Yeah. So we go to this. I can link as far as that's parenting and all of that. Another shout out or acknowledging the shout out until the moment from somebody who contacted us and made me think about it in a way. I'm like it was very similar to me, and they were like they couldn't stand when people say, "Oh, especially female, I don't want to have kids." I was exactly like that. I could not understand when a female said,
I was like that too.
I don't want to have kids,
Mhm.
right? And well, you know what? Point blank, I was judgmental.
Mhm.
What do you mean? What do you this? What do you that?
But that's how we were raised. We were raised to be a homemaker, a wife,
A wife
and
and
a
mother.
mother. Yeah, that's how we were raised.
Yeah.
So when people say that a female says that they don't want to have children, we're like,
Mhm.
What's wrong with you?
then what are you gonna do?
Yes. As if your life, you don't have a life without a kid. So when they so their shut up until you their moment is more of they couldn't stand that. And what's similar to me and that that person is that more of they're realizing there are so many different reasons as to why someone would say they don't want to have kids, and we have to respect that. That with that person shut up until their moment is again, as I said, I was very judgmental. I used to be very judgmental with a female, especially female. Again, culturally, it's not okay for you not to say that.
Mhm.
So my thing is now there are so many. I don't know how some people are gonna take what I'm about to say, but that's how I am thinking it. I have a bunch of black boys. That's my point of being a mother. So one of them, when he's in a situation when he's anxious, he started laughing. He giggles. He's doing all of this because he's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
So I'm always imagining being stopped by the police, right? And he's looking at the police and started laughing.
Mhm.
They're gonna think he's
He's
not
being a
sober. No, he's not sober.
Oh, the first thing they're gonna think he's drunk or he's high,
Yeah.
right? So imagine as a mother, and this is the world that I have this type of child in. Having 6 kids with each of them, I have one that has a mouth. I have a daughter that has a mouth, and I have one who's fearless. So when you have them out there, you're always anxious. You're not sure exactly what's gonna be happening the next time. So to me, if a mother is already, if a female is already aware this is how I know I'm gonna be, and they say I don't want to go through that, who am I to say you cannot say you don't want to have kids,
Mhm.
right? One of my
Shut up.
until you're there. One of my sons says he doesn't want to have kids. Now I have to train him to say, please don't say that around typical Haitian. When I say typical Haitian, older Haitian who still have the Haitian mentality, you cannot say you cannot have
Cultural
kids.
background.
Yeah.
So
Don't say that around your mom.
because the first thing is like, what do you mean you don't have a kid? Your mom, they would refer to me because I have 6 kids. They would refer to me, to my son, and say, your mom have this, I have that. But I sat down with my son and say, why don't you and I have kids? I remember saying to him, I'm not saying for you to have kids, but I just want to understand why you don't want to have kids.
Mhm.
So this is a child who has been through so much medically. You do know. Through so much. 3 strokes by the time he was 13. So all of that. And then he's saying to me, Mom, I don't want to take the chance to have a child who has the same sickness that I do. Who the heck are we to tell him, oh no, you still have to go do it.
Mhm.
So shut up
Until you
until you're there. Evelyn, if you have any shut up until you're there moments so we can close it out.
Yes.
Shout
I
out
do-
to somebody
I do
special.
Is when we did adjustment, and then one of my co-workers called me and said, Velin, this is so true because I had to transition from one location to another. Yes. So I bought a house, out of my job positions. So I had to drive every morning to come to Boston, and then half of the way I had to drop my daughter to school and find a way to pick up my daughter after school.
Things she didn't know she was gonna do.
She didn't know that. She didn't know that she was going to make adjustments, not only for her in the morning to get to work on time, to take her daughter to school on time, find a way to pick up her daughter in the middle of the day from school, for her to leave her house at 6 o'clock in the morning and get back home at 8 o'clock at night. Adjustments throughout the day, throughout the week.
Probably someone who was looking at somebody else doing all this, like, yeah, I'll never do that.
A single mother,
Yeah.
and then I need to think about my self-care. I need to think about my daughter when she says, Mom, I'm tired.
And mom is tired too.
Mom is tired too. What do
Yeah.
I tell her? How do I do that?
Hmm.
Because now this is a long-term thing.
Yeah. So you have to adjust, and you have to look at people who used to do it, and you're looking at them like, yeah,
Mm.
I'll
Yeah.
never do
But
it.
she had to go so far to buy a house.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the judgment, the question of the judgment part.
One shut up until you there moment that is like for everyone before they have children is my kid will never touch technology.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I were my young self and my old self now will tell that just okay. I got it now.
Yeah, wait.
Just wait.
So you know what? When you would talk about kids, and I'll use that as the last moment, the last one. There's someone that I know, right? So used to be judgmental about people's kids, because one of the ways that kids learn is to touch,
Mm-hmm.
to touch things. But in Haitian culture,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
don't touch that, right? And they brutalize the kids. So this particular person, somebody that I know, they go to people's house and they're looking at their kids touching this. Oh, if it was me, if it was this, if it was that, then they had a kid, very polite. That kid is very polite, very, very well behaved.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying to them, "You don't have a kid yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a kid. You don't have."
Mhm.
And then boom, they had another one.
Mm-hmm.
That one, they had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that because I'm happy in a sense, because I know that most people are gonna think, oh yeah, but it was amazing to me even way before Shut Up Until You Dare came about, and looking at them was like,
Mm-hmm.
you remember how you
Yeah. Yeah.
this is it.
This is
You're
your moment.
living your Shut Up Until You Dare moment.
This is your haha moment.
With that said, so that's all, we can do that here and there, probably a little more in the second season to give you more. But we appreciate all the feedback. We appreciate the people, Sir Manoj, Pastor Ben, and people who've been behind us, supporting us, and our partner on board with us to close that out and coming up. And we have so many other people that we can Febina and all these people who've been there from the beginning with us, and we thank you. And we will come back in a few weeks with season 2
Mhm.
and with guest speakers with us. And until then, shut up
Until
until
you
you